Today I'm going to present CPSC 410's project. So I'm going to go to the projects page and pull it up now. And this is CPSC 410 Project 1. If you go here, go to projects, here's the first project. It's here. It's a relatively straightforward project. It's just a reintroduction to C++. All you have to do essentially is read a file that has some information in it. And you pull this information in and then parse it. So, for instance, one of them with a header, one of the files with the header has a process number, start time, CPU time, and IO time, and all the files have the same information. Some of the files have this header file, process number, start time, CPU time, and IO time, or one of them does, one of them doesn't, and one of the files are corrupt. And you can see those files here. So here's my files. Here is one with a heading. Here is one with no heading. And here is a corrupt one. And you can see with the corrupt one, I'm supposed to have 4 numbers, and every number is supposed to be separated by a comma. This one only has 3 numbers. This one has a double comma with 3 numbers. So this one is, there's only 2 kinds of corruption that can occur. Anyway, let's go back here. So you're given this file, and the whole purpose is to read this into a data structure. It can have any name, but I'm going to call it testdata.test, especially for the tester for this application. Utilities.h describes an API that you are supposed to generate. So generate the and you have to generate the corresponding utilities.cpp file. So if you go to the header file here, utilities.h, it's under the source file, utilities.h. So this is the API you have to code to. So you see this struct, process stats, process number, start time, CPU time, IO time. It's very similar to what's going to be inside of the file, process number, start time, CPU time, IO time. And so you're going to read the file with the data inside of it, and you're going to parse out process number, start time, CPU time, and an IO time. That's the purpose of this. And then you are going to apply some transforms to it, specifically sorting this data. So let's go to the utilities.h. So this is something you're interested in, process stats. All of these constants are things that you're interested in as well, because they're going to be mostly return types for these functions. So there's a sort order too. I can sort by CPU time, process number, start time, or IO time. So keep that in mind. That will come into play down here in sort data. So notice sort data has, you can pass in a sort order, which chooses how you want to sort. So you're going to read this file. You're going to place each row, each valid row, into one of these process stat structs. And when you serialize that information, and you're going to put this information in some sort of data structure. Now, the vector is the easiest to use here. So, load data. If you read this, it says it's going to clear the vector or whatever data structure you choose. I'd recommend a vector. And this vector is going to be holding process stat structs because each row is going to go into a process stat struct. It's going to try to open the file name, this thing here. It's going to try to read it. It's going to parse all of its rows. Parse all of its rows and put them into process stats structs. Ignore first row is there just in case your file doesn't have a first row, the first row header, which describes what each row does. So load data is pretty simple. You basically open the file, test data, read all these processes line by line, populate a process stat struct, put it into some sort of vector, and you're done. And so you should return success if all goes well. Now, if you couldn't open the file, you should return could not open file. And those constants are defined up here. Sort data, well, you take your vector or whatever, and you sort it by whatever you pass in the sort order. Sort by CPU time or process number or start time or IO time. Get number of rows, just the size of the vector, that's it. And get next is going to take the first struct in the vector and then delete it from the vector. So this is what you're supposed to code to. And you're going to put all of your code inside of utilities.cpp here. You notice that I've got these functions declared here are defined, but I don't have any guts here. You're going to fill out all the guts in this file. And this is the file that I'm actually going to grade. And if you go to fileio.cpp, I mean, this is main. This is what calls the tester. So main's going to run lots of tests on your files. It's going to test with a file with a header, with a file without a header, and a file with bogus information. And it's going to output what your score is. So if you do everything perfectly, you're going to get 100. If you don't, you're not going to get 100. If you don't get a final score, then you should have a final score that says total points for student. If you don't get something like this, then you haven't finished. So if you do it all correctly, it should look like this. For all the every one of the tests that you're running. Okay, and that's it. It's a very simple reintroduction to C++. That's all it is. Open a file, parsing the information out of it, sorting the information in that file, and I think there's one more to do. Let's see. Nope, it's just opening the file, or loading the data, sorting the data, get the number of rows, and just get the next one out of the vector. That's it. All right, and that's your project. So good luck with it. You'll take care.